Hello, I'm Ben Fay with the Business Process Optimization team within Nexus IS, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the ITIL Assessment service offering. First off, why is it so important to assess ITIL process maturity? Well, these assessments provide the IT organization insight into the potential improvement opportunities that they can take. And prioritizing these improvement opportunities allows us to perform a cost-benefit analysis. Therefore, we can identify the most efficient and effective use of resources to tackle these projects based on the amount of value that they can provide us. Over time, as additional assessments are performed, the IT organization can see if the improvements they are implementing are helping their processes to mature further, or if not, help to reshift their focus to other improvement opportunities that will provide them value. What makes a good ITIL process? One widely accepted framework that we use is the capability maturity model. This model helps IT organizations to identify which stage their processes are in, from ad hoc and immature and sometimes non-existent to mature and disciplined. Once an IT organization has fully assessed their processes using this framework, the capability maturity model can help provide the necessary steps to mature these processes and ultimately make them more efficient and effective. Now, there are 5 levels in the capability maturity model. Level 0 is non-existent. There are no process activities present. Level 1 is initial chaotic. Activities are undocumented. Positions and roles and responsibilities are unclear. Ultimately, the process is changing in an ad hoc, uncontrolled, and reactive manner, creating a very chaotic and unstable environment. Once you move up to level 2, some of these activities become repeatable with consistent results. There may be positions defined, but roles and responsibilities are oftentimes not clear. Process discipline is not rigorous. There are no measurements or controls in place. Once you get to level 3, these process activities become more defined. They start to get documented with established standards. The organization may start to see some improvement over time, and the results are measured and management reports are being generated. Level 4 is when the organization moves to this managed phase, and that's when process metrics are used to control and manage the process. There are clearly defined interactions with other well-controlled processes. Lastly, level 5, optimizing. Processes are being continually improved and optimized through incremental and innovative technological changes and improvements. Performance measurements are indicating that this process is performing at a high level. You may be asking yourself, so why do we need Nexus IS to help if you've already told us everything we need to know? Well, in order to get a truly balanced and unbiased view, we recommend that you assess processes using a balanced scorecard approach. In our approach, we have three different audiences, the internal score, which are the process owners, the external score, which are the Nexus IS consultants, and the third group is the customer or business score. When I say customer, I mean either the customers internal to the business that are consuming IT services, or it could be the customers outside or external to the business that are consuming IT services. The Nexus IS approach is built for continued success. As we progress through the initial data gathering, assessment summarization, and assessment analysis phases, we teach your organization how to perform a similar assessment in the future. As we identify improvement opportunities, prioritize opportunities, and track initiatives, we involve the major stakeholders so that the entire team is focused on success. The tools and presentations that we provide will allow your organization to continually improve process maturity, even after our team has completed the engagement and subsequent analysis. This embeds the idea of continual service improvement into your organization, allowing you to build on the success that Nexus IS brings with this type of engagement. Now I'm going to show you the workbook that we use to help accompany this type of engagement and helps us to streamline the work that we're doing. Now I'm going to show you a very high-level view of the ITIL Assessment workbook that we use to help us streamline this type of engagement. So this first page is the instructions page. I'm going to skip over this during the demo. This second tab is the ITIL version 3 2011 processes. In here we know each of the ITIL stages, the ITIL processes, and their associated objectives. We encourage all of our clients to take a look at the ITIL processes and objectives before starting this engagement, so that once we start rating these processes, we all agree what the objectives are. On the next tab is the capability maturity model. We already saw this in the presentation, so I'm just going to skip over it. When we first start this type of engagement, we are going to use the ITIL assessment scorecards to help get our feedback from each of those three groups that we talked about using the balanced scorecard approach. In this workbook, we have two types of scorecards, digital and manual. In the digital version, we can send the Excel file out to the various stakeholders that are being questioned, and they can go ahead and insert whichever values they deem appropriate for those processes. Or we can go ahead and print out manual scorecards and have them check the boxes if they don't have access to Excel or computer. In the Assessment Data 1 tab, this would be where we collect all the data obtained from the scorecards. Here we would put in who filled out the survey, whether it was a process owner, a consultant, or a customer, and we could actually go ahead and copy and paste the values if it were a digital scorecard. Otherwise, we would have to manually populate that data. This Assessment Data 2 tab would be for a subsequent assessment to identify some of the improvement that we've seen from the initiatives that were ultimately taken to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of some of these processes. Moving on to the assessment summary table, this tab is actually going to take the data from the Assessment Data 1 and 2 tabs and create some averaging and some statistics and analysis for us to take a look at. So first, we'll see the number of assessments received from each of the different groups. We also have an other group, just in case you want to identify another group that you would like to include within this type of engagement. You can see the average scores for each of the different processes, as well as the total score. And again, here, this is the Assessment 1 average scores, the Assessment 2 average scores, and we can keep building this out for as many assessments as are needed. Here we have the allocations. So if our client decided that they wanted to give their customer a little bit more impact into the total score, we could certainly adjust those percentages. And that data is then fed into the assessment analysis page where we are generating spider graphs. So here on the left, we have just the Assessment 1. Now those are all of the scores based on the stages that each of those processes are in. And on the right, you can see that we have both Assessment 1 and 2 listed to show the improvement that the organization has seen by the improvement initiatives that they have taken. On this page, we have the ITIL assessment summary. Now here we are going to be calculating opportunity scores. The way that we are calculating opportunity scores is by taking the total scores that we received in the assessment summary tab and identifying how much how much value we're going to be able to get from moving from that average score to a level 5 for that process. Now, some of these have an opportunity score that's actually higher than 5. That's because we have identified certain processes as core competency processes. Those are given more opportunity score than, for instance, a process that is not identified as a core competency. Therefore, you're allowed to prioritize certain processes based on if they are more valuable to your IT organization's success. Moving on to the pick chart, we now take those opportunity scores and we match them up with an estimated level of effort. Now, this is determined using Nexus IS input as well as the process owner input. And once we have the opportunity scores and the level of effort for each of these processes, we automatically plot them onto this pick chart, which gives us a really good idea of which improvement initiatives we should take in order to give us the most bang for our buck. So as you can see here, the opportunities, the processes that give us the best opportunities are the ones with low level of efforts and high opportunity scores. And those are the ones that lie in the implement quadrant. On the opposite end of the spectrum, those processes which are going to give us a high level of effort to implement and a low opportunity score, those are going to fall into the kill quadrant, representing a project that we should not take on. And lastly, just a short page that allows us to track the improvement initiatives that we are taking. So thank you again for listening to my short video on the ITIL Assessment service offering that we are currently offering at Nexus IS. And if you have any additional questions, again, my name is Ben Fay. You can reach out to me at ben.fay@nexusis.com. Thank you.